When visiting Malibu, California, you may be tempted to go surfing or maybe even sightseeing for celebrities. But have you ever considered going rock climbing? Well, I have, and that's exactly why I'm here. Welcome to Malibu.
I'm Stephanie, a self-taught chef with an appetite for good food, travel, fashion.
With all the right touches. I love this.
Oh, wow. And adventure.
Very excited. Oh, the ultimate roller coaster.
Join me on my journey to exotic locations as I take on new adventures
and shoot it. You put Robin's what you're saying, you know that?
and create fabulous pescatarian meals using fresh local ingredients.
I'm using those beautiful oranges that I bought from Farmer's Market this morning.
So if you're hungry for good food and have an appetite for adventure, this is a show that you don't want to miss.
On this episode of the Posh Pescatarian Appetite for Adventure, I visit beautiful Malibu, California to take a rock climbing lesson. But before my adventure begins, I shop for my wardrobe and purchase the ingredients that I'll need to make a fabulous lunch. I start my adventure at REI. REI is a really great store. You can find almost anything in here to outfit any adventure.
Hello, welcome to REI Tustin.
Hi, I'm going climbing tomorrow and I'm looking for some gear.
Yeah, well, let's go back to the climbing department and we can take a look at some of that product.
Okay.
All right, so we're on our way to our women's wear section. And this is where we're gonna find pants and tops and things that you'll use while you're climbing. Some of the other clothing that you might need.
Oh, tops, yeah.
Yeah, tops. So these tops basically are gonna be light wicking style t-shirts or tanks that you're gonna be able to wear when you're doing like aerobic activity or athletic activity like climbing. So like here's a little North Face top. We have an REI technical t-shirt here.
I like that a lot.
So right here is an example of some of the pants that you'd be using when climbing.
Yeah, those are cute.
Yeah, so this one here is basically a convertible pant. It's a bit stretchy for freedom of movement. So here's a couple different pants that we have.
Okay.
This is an REI convertible pant, kind of similar to what you have here. Higher cut on the convertible.
Comes with a belt.
Comes with a built-in belt, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then this is just kind of a roll-up pant that you can roll up, and then there's gonna be a little snap here.
Oh, sure, like capris.
Yes, like a capri. So essentially both kind of become a capri once either the leg is removed or the leg's rolled up. Okay. So you have that material out of the way. Another thing you're probably gonna want is a long sleeve as well.
Okay.
So I have these items right over here.
There's so much good stuff in here, it's easy to get lost.
And this is something where as you get warmer, you can zip it down and regulate your temperature a little bit.
So I really like this color and the fit, and the purple is working for me as well. Not sure about the pants. Let me see what else I can find. So I like the color of this top, but it's a little baggy, as are the pants. So I'm definitely gonna say no. Let's move on. I wasn't looking for anything fancy. I just wanted something that would fit well, was flattering, and would look really cool on the rock. Okay, so I really like the fit of these pants. I've got lots of space, they're comfy, and I think I'm gonna work well on the mountain. This orange is fantastic, the blue is fabulous, and this is a really cool feature. I think I may have found my outfit. Rock climbing is one of those activities that requires specialized equipment. So after I found my outfit, it was time for more shopping.
Now pull that up and work those leg straps up.
All right.
And then pull the hip belt up.
Woo!
The idea is that this sits right kind of where your lumbar is here in the back.
Okay.
And as you were to weight that harness, it's holding you upright.
Okay.
Because you don't want to end up turning upside down or expose your head to the rock or anything like that.
The harness was surprisingly comfortable, but it did remind me of something out of the Middle Ages.
All right, so you said you're interested in renting a helmet, and this is the helmet we rent, so why don't you try that one on for size.
Okay.
And you'll see there'll be these two little dials right on the side of your head here. And as you twist them, it's gonna tighten up the halo of that helmet right around your head.
Yeah. Okay.
And once you have those dialed in, go ahead and do the chin strap.
That feels good.
Tighten that up till it's just snug.
Feels good.
Look, you're almost ready to climb.
Almost ready.
All right, Stephanie, so why don't you take a seat right here, and I will pick out a selection of shoes for you to try on for your upcoming climbing adventure.
Okay.
So what you'll do is you'll put your foot in there, and you want your toes to be just down turned. And that's kind of pushing your heel into the cup of the shoe, and it's filling out the toe. And then it's gonna kind of give the shoe structure so that when it's on that little edge, it's gonna hold. So the idea is once your toe's in there, it'll give it that support that the shoe needs.
Okay.
So you do want it to fit a little bit small. So go ahead and try this one on as well. I feel you get a better fit with the lace up.
These feel better. They feel snug. You know what? I think these are perfect.
All right, we ready to roll?
The rock climbing shoes were really snug. It almost feels as if I was wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too small. They're very uncomfortable and definitely ruined my pedicure.
My pleasure. Something you might want to know is that we are a member-owned cooperative. So what that means is our members actually own the company. And when you buy items from us, like the shoes, the harness, a helmet, you get 10% of those regular price items back in a dividend at the end of the year. And also for the next time you do a rock climbing outing, we do outdoor school. So we have outdoor school rock climbing, cycling, paddling, even skiing this year. So something that you might be able to do if you end up joining the co-op.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So Ryan, how do you think I look?
I think you look like you're ready to climb.
Okay. I'm making fish tacos today with the papaya salsa. So I'm at the Co-Opportunity Natural Foods Market to pick up the basic ingredients that I'll need for today's meal. Tacos are my go-to recipe when I'm looking for something quick and easy. So when I arrived at the co-op, I was hoping to find something that would give me a little bit of inspiration. And I found it on the shelf, agave nectar. No luck finding fish at this market, so I head inland to Dry Dock Fish Market.
Hi Stephanie, how are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
Good, good.
Good, so I'm here because I'm putting some fish on the grill tomorrow. I'm thinking about tacos.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you have any recommendations.
Oh, excellent, we do.
Okay.
I've got some fresh white sea bass, that could work. I've got ono or wahoo from Hawaii. Maybe swordfish, mahi. Mahi would be great.
If that's your recommendation, let's do mahi.
Okay, let's take a look at some mahi.
Okay.
All right, here's our walk-in cooler.
This is cool, literally.
We have some sushi-grade salmon and albacore. Here's the mahi-mahi.
Wow.
We have sea bass. We also make ceviche. We do a poke.
This place was really cool. I got to go in the cooler to get my fish. So what do you have for me? My mahi.
Okay, I've got some mahi for you.
Okay.
How much are you looking for?
Give me a couple pounds.
Okay, we'll do 2 pounds. That looks about right?
That's beautiful.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Let's go.
With my fish in hand, it was time to head to Point Doom to my adventure.
My name is Timothy Fox. I've been rock climbing, technical rock climbing, for about 32 years. I started in Carter Rock, Maryland, and right off the Potomac. First thing we're going to do is tie you in. We're going to use a figure of 8 knot in order to do that.
Okay.
So here's my figure of 8.
Yep.
Now we just run this up through your harness.
Okay.
And we come up with a figure of 8.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Basically, there's two different types of climbing, technical climbing. There's top rope and there's lead climbing. Top rope is when you have protection set up on the top and you have a rope running from here to there, and while you're climbing, your belayer is basically taking up the slack. But if you fall in that, you only fall a foot or so because your belayer is taking the tension as you're going up. With lead climbing, it's a completely different story. You're actually putting in the protection as you're going up. So as you climb, you put protection in, and if you happen to fall, you'll fall twice the distance to your last piece of protection. So you want to make sure that you keep protection in as much as you can. What we're doing here today is top rope climbing. I've set up a top rope, and we have the climbing rope and we have the belaying rope, and they'll both be down here. Before we put our harness on, which the instructions are usually with the harness, and it's very important that you put it on correctly. If your harness is not put on correctly, it can come off, and that's what you're tied to when you're climbing. The next thing we need to do is terminology.
Okay.
You need to be able to communicate with me while you're climbing.
Okay.
So we have certain terminologies.
Okay.
For example, when you're ready to climb, you ask your belayer, belay on. The belayer says, belay on.
Okay.
And then you say, climbing.
Okay.
And the belayer answers back, climb on. Okay, now if you get to the point where you think you're gonna fall, you gotta tell your belayer. So you can say either tension, you know, you're about to fall,
Yeah.
and then falling. And that way the belayer can catch you,
Okay.
he's ready, and you've told him what's going on.
Okay. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Right.
Okay.
The climbs here at Point Doom range from about a 5.9 to a 5.6. Stephanie will do the 5.6 today. Are you ready to climb?
Okay, so climbing,
Climb on.
and I'm just gonna find my spots and get up here. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Start to put your weight over your left foot and just start coming up.
Tim was really great because he reassured me the entire time. He helped build my confidence and made me feel like I could actually do it.
On this climb, Stephanie started out very well. You could see that she had the technical ability to do this climb. But as she got higher and higher, her doubt began to set in, and her fear of being in an uncomfortable place started taking over.
I was getting more confident with my climbing, but when I started reaching for areas to grab onto, there were fewer and fewer available, so I started to get a little bit nervous.
Stephanie, you're doing great. Start to put your weight over your left foot and just start coming up.
Tim was great. He continued to encourage me even though I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Okay.
That's it. That's it. Okay, that's
Okay. Okay. The best part about climbing that rock was actually the view. It was beautiful. I was a little disappointed that I didn't make it all the way up the mountain, but next time, I'm certain I'll get it done. Okay.
Stephanie could have definitely made it to the top of this climb. She had the technical ability, the strength, the stamina, the balance. What held her back was the fear of falling. Transitioning from a climber to a repeller can be difficult, especially for the beginner climber. You basically have to fall back and let the rope take your weight. And to a beginner climber, that is very difficult because of the fear of falling and the lack of trust in the system of rock climbing, basically. Rock climbing really is a sport for everybody and for all ages. I've taught people from 10 to 60 how to climb. So it's not that physically demanding, but there are lower class climbs that you can climb on forever.
The climb was a lot of fun. Now it was time to make lunch. I love cooking outdoors, and this was a really perfect setting. Okay, that was a lot of fun, and next time I'm gonna make it all the way up that mountain. But now, time for lunch. So what I'm making is an agave lime marinated mahi-mahi fish taco with a papaya salsa. Sounds complicated, but it totally isn't. Let's start with our fish. And what I'm using here is a mahi-mahi fillet. Mahi-mahi has a really good, meaty flavor, really great texture, and is perfect for the grill. That's why I'm using it today. Cooks up pretty quickly. Let me show you how we get this marinated. We've got our fillet here, but every now and again, what you'll find is a little bit of bloodline here that's got some bones, and we're gonna remove those. Just you're gonna feel them, it doesn't feel that great. We're gonna cut this out. Now we've got a really beautiful loin of mahi-mahi. We're gonna marinate this. We're gonna zest a lime. Remember, this is a lime and agave marinated fish taco. This lime zest is gonna give the fish a really great punch of flavor. This is aromatherapy. Okay, now and take our lime and we're gonna squeeze it on our fish. Now the lime is gonna do two things. It's gonna give it a really great flavor, but it's also gonna cook it just a little bit. That's gonna help the cooking process go quickly when we put it on the grill. Time for the agave. And the agave is a nectar made from the agave plant, which is also something that tequila is made from, because this is non-alcoholic. We're just gonna give this a nice little drizzle. Now you've gotta be careful when you're cooking with anything that has sugar in it. It's gonna burn on the grill, so we're gonna watch this pretty carefully. Next up, some sea salt. Just a little bit. We're gonna use 1 garlic clove. Just gonna break this open. We're gonna grate it. Last but not least, our olive oil. Drizzle this on. That's beautiful. Smells fantastic, super easy. We're gonna let this marinate for about 10 minutes and then put it on the grill. Next up is our papaya salsa. So our fish is ready, so let's start our papaya salsa. And what I'm using are Mexican papayas. And I'm gonna show you the easiest way to trim a papaya. You're gonna cut off both ends so it lays flat, just like that. Just like that. We're gonna move these to the side, and we're just gonna slice down each side. Really easy. I love using fruit with my fish tacos. It adds a really nice, bright flavor. Okay, almost done. Okay, now we're gonna put it on its side. Chop that. Quarter, quarter. Now, unusually enough, this papaya doesn't have any seeds, but they typically do. If it had seeds, we'd scrape them out and do the exact same thing. Now I'm gonna move all of these quarters and I'm gonna cut the quarters in half and I'm gonna make a really nice chunky salsa. Quarters. just to taste. So good. Onion, oh. Did you see this? This couple is taking their wedding pictures. How adorable. I'm actually gonna use only half of this. I'm gonna slice it right down the middle. This table is a little bit wobbly, so watch your fingers if you're cooking outdoors like me. We're just gonna add this right to the papaya. Now for our cilantro. And I like to just take a nice little bunch of cilantro, get my bowl here, and just kind of roll it up so it's kind of tight. Then take your knife and just go down the side. Just like that. Watch your fingers. And that's our cilantro. Now I'm gonna put everything together and turn our salsa into something fabulous. So first in goes the papaya and the red onion. Just like that. Some cilantro. All of it. I really love cilantro. Stuff is like aromatherapy for me. Gonna add a lime. Just make sure these limes are properly juicing. So I'm gonna give it a squeeze. The best part about this is afterwards, my hands smell like lime. So slice this lime. We're gonna use both halves. And this lime juice is gonna be fantastic. It's gonna break down the flesh of the papaya so that it's nice and supple. This sunset is so beautiful. And just wash my hands off just a little bit. We're gonna add some sea salt. Some of our olive oil, just a tad. And I would add some garlic, but we already have garlic in the fish, and I think this is gonna be nice and simple. So let's give this a toss. Okay, we've got our salsa. Let me show you how we put this together. Okay, I'm using corn tortillas because I really like the texture of these. And it's gonna be 1 tortilla per taco. Really simple. We've got our warm fish. I'm using some of the smaller pieces. If the pieces that you made earlier are too large, just go ahead and cut them in half. I'm just gonna stick with these two. We're gonna add a little bit of our red cabbage. I really love red cabbage for this recipe. Not only does it add really bright flavor, but it's got a really nice crunch. And of course, some of our salsa. This is so gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna make one for Tim later, but I'm gonna taste this one now. I'm gonna go freshen up and have lunch with Tim. I prepared a meal for you.
Yes.
Mahi tacos.
Uh-huh.
Let's both take a bite.
Okay.
Check them out.
They look wonderful.
Thank you.
After the climb, we had lunch. And Stephanie had grilled some tacos from it, and it was very good.
Good?
That is good. That agave sauce really makes it mahi-mahi. Climbing always makes you hungry and thirsty, and having a nice lunch like that after the climb was really nice.